Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. We have an 8-race card on Thursday. We have another beautiful day here at South Florida. Temperature in the mid to high 80s this afternoon. Dew point is 67%. We've got a fast main track, firm turf course, and what I always want to say guarantee. It's not a guarantee. It's a carryover in the Rainbow Six. $634,000 plus. And when we have an 8-race card, it starts in race number 3. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have that 8-race card. You got to know that the Rainbow Six does start in race number 3, only a 20-cent wager. And tomorrow we got 9 races, so it starts in race 4. And I wouldn't want you to miss, because you got a chance with 20 cents to take home $600,000 plus. It's going to be way more today, too.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned yesterday, you say guarantee. That's because it's guaranteed to be even higher than that number by the time we get to the 3rd race. It continues to grow, and very exciting to see how high it can get and what kind of jackpot one lucky horse player is going to go home with.
If you remember last year, just before the end of the championship meet last year, somebody hit it for $6 million. So
almost $7 million, $6.7 million.
Right, and you know, it could. Who knows how far it's going to go up till the mandatory payout, which is supposed to be sometime in May, I hear now. So we'll see how that works out. But you know what? You're the one that can take it down today. So make it all a moot point. So let's take a look at Thursday's card. As I mentioned, fast main track, firm turf course. The first race, 1 mile, a maiden claim is fillies and mares 3 and up, $12,500. 10 runners going to the field. We both started our day with the exact 3 on top. We'll see how this works out. Gold Celebrity taking an immediate drop to the bottom after recovering. Had a slow start last time out. He finished 4th, a $25,000 career debut at the distance. Antonio Sano, he's 15% with maidens making their 2nd start. So I just think a logical contender on the drop.
There are so many reasons to think that she's going to move forward today in this start. I really thought it was a pretty useful debut. She was weaving in and out of traffic, able to get up for 4th, and she only missed the show by a half length. Definitely think she is one to play today.
Well, there's a 3-horse that we both have in 2nd, Pleasantly Miranda. This one is going back to the turf after responding last time to a stretch out in distance. Would it really improve 2nd place finisher against similar quality going a mile, albeit that was on the main track. But Chuck Simon hasn't started many horses both in the winter here and now, but he's doing an excellent job. He's 2 for 7 with the dirt to turf move. Jesus Rios handling the surface switch today. I just like the work that Chuck Simon's been doing.
I agree. And this one, like you mentioned, has some form to her. She's run 2nd twice, and those 2 races she was well clear of the 3rd place finisher. Last time out she was 2nd against males. Yeah. So she's run against tougher. I think this is a very good spot for her. We also both have the 1 in our ticket. That's Successful Diva. And I thought she took some pretty tremendous steps forward when she moved to the grass 3 starts back for trainer Marcos Fernandez in her 3-year-old debut. Fernandez, 27% stretching horses out from sprints, but the only kind of caution there is that this filly's lone start at the distance resulted in an 8th place finish.
Yeah, and you know, she looks like she's in the right spot. She's going to enjoy the class relief this afternoon. So we'll see how that first race goes along. 2nd race, 6 furlongs, maiden claimer of fillies 3-year-olds, and these are the claimer level $60,000 down to $50,000. We do have one scratch in here of number 6, Polly My Love, and we're in agreement with our exactor again here. I went with the 5 Birthday Girl. Actually made this one my best bet this afternoon, and I was surprised to see that it was not the morning line favorite. The morning line favorite is the number 2, Silver Fox, who we'll get to in a minute because you used her on your ticket. Birthday Girl turning back to 3/4 of a mile after responding to the addition of Blinkers with a 3rd place finish. That's against $60,000 maidens going 7/8 of a mile. Marcus Vitale, Eddie Castro atop this daughter of Curlin. Just thought it was the logical one in this race.
I agree. She jumped right out at me, and I had no qualms putting her right on top of the ticket. And she's really, from a numbers perspective, improved with every start that she's made on dirt. Particularly liked her last start, angled out and rallied at the 3/16 pole to get up for 2nd, and that was after she was bumped and shuffled back at the stretch. I think she can really break through against this group today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I saw the race myself, that she was the one to beat. Surprised when I went back down, like I said, saw the 2 Silver Fox, who I didn't use on the ticket, but I did use, and so did you, It Won't Go Bad, which is the number 7, dropping to the $60,000 level. First start since showing promise against maiden special weight competition. That was her 2-race freshman campaign. It was up at Woodbine. It was on the poly track. Trainer Ricky Griffin, 27% with horses making similar class drops. Has this daughter of Munnings training well for a 3-year-old debut. I mentioned a couple of times on the air, his horses have been taking a lot of money and running very well the last few days. So I'm interested to see if this horse ends up going off the favorite or if something is known or around being the favorite.
There's a lot to like about her as well. The only question is that she has not run under, and that's why I couldn't put her on top. But she's trained well over the surface here, so definitely one to put on the ticket. I did use the favorite, like you mentioned, at the bottom of my ticket. That is Silver Fog, dropping down to the maiden claiming ranks after making her first 2 starts in state-bred maiden special weights. She was second in her career debut, didn't fare so well in the second start, faded after pressuring the pace. That was the red flag for me, but I think she should respond positively to the class drop, and hopefully she can show a little bit more of what we saw from her in that first start.
The horse that I did throw on my ticket is a first-time starter, and that's a 3-horse Sweet Medea. It's the daughter of Mass Media, debuted for Bill Kaplan, and Bill Kaplan, he sort of flies under the radar with his first-time starters, but he's got like a 20% average, 19% average with first-time starters. Starts her career, she's got Lasix, and she'll have Bill Kaplan's go-to rider, Juan Labor, in the 7th. So if you're looking for a way to go, this kicks off the first of our 2 pick 4s, the early pick 4. You might want to throw that number 3 horse on your ticket on the board. I think it's 6-1 or 5-1, right?
6-1.
6-1. Let's go to the 3rd race today. This one is 7 furlongs. Maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $16,000. 1 scratch, 1 jockey change. Scratch the 1 sota. And note that the jockey change comes on number 10 on the outside. Make the rider Eddie Castro. Once again, we're in agreement with our top picks. What's going on here, Katie?
We're thinking alike today. They say great minds think alike, so hopefully this is a sign.
Well, you're in big trouble then.
But this race begins the Rainbow Six, and we have our 2nd and 3rd place finishers mixed up a little bit, but we both ended up going with the same top choice. So maybe this is one you might want to think about singling in your Rainbow Six ticket. Nocturnal Q, lots of adjustments being made today with this daughter of Mass Media, and I think those adjustments are really going to benefit her. Returning to the dirt after an unsuccessful turf debut in which she didn't really get much of a good trip either. Also cutting back to 7 furlongs and dropping in class to the lowest tag she's ever run for. She's getting back to the conditions under which she ran her best race when she finishing an encouraging 2nd in her 3-year-old debut in January, going 6.5 furlongs for a $25,000 tag. So I think they're getting closer to that race, maybe to replicate where she showed her best.
Yeah, and she absolutely, you look at her past performances, like you said, she does her best running on the dirt, and that's what she's going to do today. The horse I used in 2nd was the 4 Starship Cosmo. This one is another one like Nocturnal Q, dropping to the $16,000 level on the main track, hitting the board in 1 of 2 recent turf races against tougher competition. Steve Dwoskin, Juan Labor handling the surface switch today. Just thought off that angle that this horse can run well against this level of competition.
I put the 10 on my ticket, Can Lady, who returned from a brief 2-month freshening to finish a well-beaten 6th in her last start on March 18th. I think she should be better. 2nd start off the layoff, and trainer Louis Ramirez, 20% with horses making their 2nd start off a 45 to 180 day layoff. Also be dropping to the lowest tag she's ever run for, and she too did run a pretty encouraging 2nd at the $25,000 level back in January. She was 2 lengths clear of the show horse, and also there's a jockey change, and she'll have Eddie Castro aboard today, and I like that.
Well, let me give you a long shot in here. This is when we're starting a Rainbow Six. It's the 3 Berry Blitz. This one is stretching out to 7/8 of a mile after searching for racing room in its last race at the quarter pole. Still finishing, I thought, a willing 3rd. She was 50-1 last time out against this same caliber of competition, going 5.5 furlongs. And I just thought with the stretch out, you're looking for a bomber to start the Rainbow Six ticket. This one, I believe, is 15-1 on the morning line. Just a horse that you might want to add on your ticket, especially if later on in this sequence you have a horse you can single. You might want to throw Berry Blitz somewhere on that Rainbow Six ticket.
Absolutely. You might want a bomber there to hit early, take some of those tickets out of the Rainbow Six pool, and maybe you will be alive heading into the later legs. So So that's definitely a strategy you might want to employ here.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job. Yesterday we had 200 and something tickets, 6 out of 6, no singles. So they are zero in on this. You just got to get that one lucky pick. Yesterday there was only one long shot that paid 25 to 1. The rest of them were, logical first, second, or third choices. So, you got to catch something like that a couple of times in the race and see what you do. See, hope you can get lucky and get, like Katie said, knock out some guys right away in the first leg of the Rainbow Six. Fourth race, 7 furlongs, an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds, and these are straight 3-year-olds, $50,000 the claiming level. And we want to go back and show you the performance of the horse we both have on top, and that is Chip at a $300,000 son of Tappet.
Yeah, this was a nice horse, and I thought he showed a lot of professionalism in his debut. Take a look at him there, missing the break a little bit, breaks slowly, then tries to rush up to kind of gain some positioning. And a lot of times when that happens, horses tire out late because they're forced to make a move early, and it appeared like he kind of was. And then he's going to run up here into the far turn, and he's going to get completely stuck behind a wall of horses, has absolutely nowhere to go. Again, a horse in his first start. This could be something that's going to discourage him from running further, but he's patient, and once he gets running room, he's going to break through, angle out at the top of the stretch, battles his way through there, and then he's going to keep coming, rallies between horses, switches leads there, and he's going to get up for the win. And I thought that was a very, very professional debut, and that's why I had to put him on the top of my ticket. And it's always tough to win when you're facing winners for the first time, but I think that professional quality that he showed me shows that maybe that won't be a problem for him.
What I liked most about that, I agree exactly what you said, is that was all done at 5.5 furlongs. That does not usually happen at 5.5 furlongs. If you're going a mile or you're going 6 furlongs or 6.5 furlongs, maybe you have time to correct the bad break and getting steady behind horses. But this horse did that professionally at 5.5 furlongs, so that made me like the horse even more than I did last time. I went with the number 5, Your Dreams of Mine, in second, stretching out to the 7 furlong distance again. One previous race at the distance with a third place finish, followed his $50,000 maiden victory with a third place finish as the favorite in that race behind a repeat winner called Papa Upa. That was going 5.5 furlongs, so I think this horse is another one that's going to enjoy the added distance today.
We both have the 4 Grand Billy on our tickets. I have him in second, and I thought that he too opened some eyes with his first start. He had something left in the tank for the stretch run. After pressing the pace from 3 wide almost the entire way around, he also registered a 3/4 length victory in his career debut and beat a very highly regarded horse in this field. That was Tennessee. Everyone was hyping this horse when he came into this race, and I mean everyone. Lots of talk about that horse, and he ran second to Grand Billy, so that impressed me. Earned an 84 buyer for that effort. I'm looking forward to seeing him come back to face winners.
Yeah, and he'll have apprentice Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. So, these races, you make a good point with that horse. I hope I made a good point with the 5. We definitely made a good point with the 6, Chippage. So here's a horse. You would say, well, it's Pletcher. We're going to single this horse. But I like what you said. It's really tough to go from maiden breaker up into winner. So I think in the Rainbow Six, and this starts the pick 5, you have to use those horses. You got to go a little bit deeper in there.
I completely agree. I would not want to single that race.
No, because a lot of those horses ran exceptionally well. It's a pretty nice race. We're going to go to race number 5, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claimers 4 and up, $12,500. Full field, 10 runners in there. Had to go. I know I had to go with Pasta Lover. I don't know why she did. Let's take a look at its race on March 21st. I like this horse thing, and I like pasta.
Who doesn't like pasta? I know you're Italian. I'm a little bit Italian. You gotta love pasta.
Exactly.
Pasta Lover. I thought he ran a nice race last time out. You're gonna see him. He's the 2 here, dueling down the stretch, and he gets bumped a little bit at the 16 fold, just a brush, but enough to kind of take him off of his best stride. And he's only gonna miss by a neck in that race. I thought that was a nice closing run. His form, when you look at his past performances, there's a 10th place finish there that kind of jumps out at you and might scare you. Do not let that scare you, because look at the description line. The rider lost the iron in that race, and the horse was not pushed at all to run. Throw that race completely out. He did not run at all. Otherwise, he has a very, very nice form, and this is going to be the 3rd start back from a 2-month freshening, so he should be on his best game today, and I like that Tyler Gaffleone is going to stay aboard.
Well, when you handicap this race the way I do, you look down at Pasta Lover for all the reasons you mentioned. It's a 4-time winner at the distance, 17 races, 4 wins, 2 seconds, 2/3. Then you look at the morning line favorite here, Live and Joy. He's another one. He's dropping to the $12,500 level, but you look at his record at the distance. He's 0 for 12.
Yes.
He's had 12 races at this distance, no wins, a second and 2/3. For me, I had to put the horse in second. It's one of my favorite animals. A horse that's done something in the race, and another horse that hasn't. Doesn't mean Live and Joy cannot win in here and get that first victory. I'm not saying at all. It just made me lean more towards Pasta Lover, besides the fact that we both like pasta.
Absolutely, I have the same exact thing written down. Winless at the distance. That was the big drawback for me and why I ultimately went with Pasta Lover. I also threw the 7 on my ticket, Mahubo. Going right down the line here, 5, 6, 7 in this race. He's dropping down from the same level, the $20,000 ranks, and another whose numbers stack up pretty well against this group. Here's the key for this horse. He needs to break well. He has broken slowly in his last 3 starts, but the one time that he did break well, he was second, only beaten a neck. He needs to break well in this race, but he'll have Eddie Castro aboard, and I know he's going to be having this horse on his toes in the gate there, waiting for the start.
Holy smoke, Katie. No, that's who I picked. Third, 4, holy smoke. This one will renew the rivalry with Pasta Lover. Got bumped at the start last time out, then went racing up 4 wide, finished 5th, but only 3 lengths behind Pasta Lover. Trainer Mike Petro, Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle. One of those horses, I'm not positive this horse can win, but I think, when you're putting your exacta trifecta tickets together, that you might want to use number 4, holy smoke, somewhere on the ticket.
Absolutely. If that horse wins, I definitely will not be saying holy smoke. It makes sense.
The 6th race today, I'm trying to skip a race here, which we don't want to do because the way the program is. There you go. 6th race, 1 mile on the turf. Claim is fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races in life. We do have 3 scratches in here. The 2 Giacomo's Aria, number 6 Chica Chapina, and the main track only, number 11 Bull-Headed Lady. And once again, if I'm keeping count, this is the, what race is 6th race in a row that we have the same selection on top. Either we're going to be really good or we're going to have to be hiding for the rest of the afternoon. We went with the number 7 Hardly.
Yeah, this one has taken a class drop for trainer Mark Hennig, and this is a filly who has just competed against a lot tougher in her career. She's been steadily dropped down the ranks since December. This is going to be the softest spot she's ever run in, and I think I'm going to say that she's found the right spot today. She really hasn't been running all that poorly. She's been really just out of it in her last few, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and her buyers are really tops among this group. I think this is a spot where it can give her a confidence boost.
Yeah, I mean, I like her in there, I do, but I was torn about using the number 3 Secret Fascination in second, which you did not know, and I'll tell you why, this one is stepping up to the next level. It's not the logical level, because stepping up from 2 lifetime claimers, that means winner of 2 races in life to 3 lifetime, is a pretty big jump up in competition. It's hard to win that 3rd race for some of these horses, but this horse is also getting some relief in the claiming level. So I just thought, with that said, Antonio Sano, Luca Panici, previous winner at the distance, I thought I'd throw this one on the ticket, but I was going to try and say single Hardly, but I'm sort of going back to the 3 Secret Fascination a little bit, that I think might have a shot to win in this spot.
Secret Fascination was a horse that I looked at. I ended up leaving off the ticket, but if there were a scratch, that would be the one that I would put on the ticket. I put Miss Motivation in second, and I think she could be a really nice value at 12-1. That's because she's returning to the turf, the surface on which she won back-to-back races this fall on the New York circuit against State Breds. Now, this is going to be a little bit tougher versus that type of race against State Breds, but I thought she was, solid. A well-beaten 3rd in her last start at Aqueduct in January, but she was almost 6 lengths clear of the 4th place finisher. That was her first start since November. Coming back from a little bit of a break again today, but she's run well fresh, and I think she can put in a solid effort here. I think this spot is just a good fit for her.
I went with the 4 Little Miss Sure Shot, 5 for 10 in the money at the mile, so that sort of, at this mile distance, sort of woke me up a little bit. 10 starts, 2 wins, the 3 seconds, dropped, turning back, chased the pace last time out, faded against $20,000 types, going a mile in the 16. Trainer Gustavo Delgado always does a good job. He's got Eddie Castro named to ride. Just throw the horse that's in the right spot, and I like it. Again, a proven commodity at the distance, seems to run very well in a mile.
Bahama Drama is another one who's proven at the distance. Both of her career wins came at a mile as well. I think she should be better. Second start off a 4-month layoff for trainer Barry Croft, who is 25% in that category. Prior to the layoff, she posted 3 in the money finishes at Gulfstream Park West, but she has a win here at Gulfstream as well.
We'll go to race number 7, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Starter, optional claimer, 3-year-olds, $50,000. We'll have 8 runners going to the post. And number 7, Rizwan, who we both have on top of the ticket. This is where I almost made this one my best bet. We're going to go watch her race from back on February 19th against optional claimers at the $35,000 level.
I love this little horse. I really do. He's so game, and he's really figured things out in the past few months. This race, you're going to see him here. He's going to meet a challenge rounding the far turn, but he's going to put this rival away, and it's really a nice win. No trouble here for him, and I think the same thing is going to happen today. He really just shows up every time. He's won 2 of his last 3, and he's won on both surfaces, dirt and turf, hard and soft going. This is a nice 2-length victory over 2 horses that are going to return in this race today, Akati's Ice and Nick and Jr., and I think they're his biggest competition in this race, so he's already beaten them decisively, and I think you have to put him on top of the ticket here.
Yeah, you know, and I just didn't understand. He was on the 2-race win streak on the turf, then they put him back on the dirt. I was a little confused with that. He ran okay in that race.
Well.
He ran okay in that race, but his horse, I was thinking of maybe singling. You mentioned the other 2 horses, Nick and Jr., and the other horse I used was Mexican Groove. Going to face winners, return from a 7-week freshening, defeated $75,000 maidens, won that race and was pulling away by 3 lengths. Mike Maker, 26% were winning consecutive races. Edgar Prado, here's the key. It's a son of English Channel. I like English channels on the grass, so I threw Mexican Groove on my ticket.
One thing to note about Nick and Jr. that could be the difference maker for him today is that he is getting blinkers today. Trainer Jane Sabelli, 33% first-time blinkers. That is an angle that you're going to want to keep in mind if you are thinking of singling Rizwan in this race.
Well, let's go to race number 8, 1 mile on the turf. Claimers, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. Scratch to 15, defying gravity. And what I like most about this race, that there's 14 horses in it, and our track announcer, Pete Aiello, is going to have to call all 14 horses in here, and I want to see what job he does. I'm going to be listening very carefully. With that said, we finally have a different horse on top. I went with the 7, that's Princess Toomey. This one going back to the turf after responding to a drop in competition with a second-place finish against this same caliber competition. Going a mile, was on the main track. David Forks, Edgar Prado handling the surface switch today. But boy, I am not sold on this horse. I got him on top, and I'm going to go deep in this race, especially with the Super High 5.
I was going to say, what a way to end the day with the Super High 5 with this field very full. You're going to have your hands full. I went with the 10 Artistic Touch, who I think has really picked it up a notch in her last 2 starts. Today she's going to make her first start for trainer Lars Beck de Lamont. Taking a significant class drop, she's going to run for a career low tag after making her last 2 starts here in $25,000 optional claimers, and she was only beaten 2 lengths at that level 2 starts back. That was also at this mile distance. Thought she's been working pretty well, like the looks of the last work, and I think she's a great value at 6-1. Even has a little bit of back class to her. She's running 3 stakes. Should appreciate the major class relief today.
The other horse that we both used in our ticket in the second spot was Dunkirk's Best, dropping a notch on the claiming scale after that ground-saving trip last time out. Produced a 5th-place finish, beaten only 2 lengths in that race. It was against $16,000, 2 lifetime claimers, who was going a mile and a 16. So I think the turn back is going to help this horse in here. A horse that you have to put on your ticket. But we mentioned it's the Super High 5. This race is not as easy as, you know, the 3 horses that we might have on top of our tickets.
Absolutely, and that last race from Dunkirk's Best earned her the highest buyer of her career. She can move forward off of that start today. I think she can be right in the thick of things.
Well, you got the 1 on your ticket, Princess Romana. I'm liking the price here, 12-1 with Tyler Gaffalione.
Yeah, I think she's dropping down to a much more appropriate level today after failing to fire in her last 2. She broke her maiden 3 starts back at the $20,000 level. So I think this race is just a much better fit for her when she's going to be facing winners.
And that's the prices you like to have on your ticket, 12-1 like that. You don't want to have these 9-5 shots like, you know, some people that we do the tip sheet with, pick a lot of favorites in there. Hey, Pete, he's off the board there. So we're going to wrap up Thursday's action today. We got $634,000 plus in the Rainbow Six, and we've been telling everybody for days. On Wednesday and Thursday, we have an 8-race card. When does it start? Race 3.
It does. It starts in race 3, and you know what? There's been a little bit of a trend with these Rainbow Sixes, and they have a tendency to be hit on Thursdays. They really do. So I would play this today. I would not be surprised if this is hit today. The only guarantee, though, is that it is going to be well over 700,000. So best of luck to you today, and hopefully you see things the same way Ron and I did, because we thought a lot alike today, and I'm hoping we have a good day.
Well, we got the Thursday angle going for us. Good luck.